What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today it's time to continue with the Apex content, and I wanted to start breaking down the attachments in this game since there isn't a whole lot of information out there on exactly what a lot of the attachments do. So today we're going to dive into the stock attachment, and I'm going to be covering the standard stock as well as the sniper stock to let you know exactly how it works and how it helps you. Now the in-game description for both of these says that it gives you faster handling as well as aim drift reduction. Now that aim drift reduction is pretty straightforward, that is idle sway, which we'll get into in a little bit, but the other part of the description about the handling is pretty vague, and it's had a lot of people guessing and speculating what that might mean, and a lot of that speculation I've seen online is completely incorrect. So let's walk you through everything I tested. The first thing I tested, just coming from a Call of Duty mindset, even though this isn't really handling, I still wanted to test this because I know a lot of people would be asking. This is your aim down sight movement speed, so your ability to strafe back and forth in a gunfight while aiming down sight. The stock attachment has no impact whatsoever on this area. Next up, some of the speculation is it allows you to aim down sight faster, which that does apply to the handling category in a lot of video games, but it turns out not in this video game. The stock attachment has no impact whatsoever on your ability to aim down sight. The next thing I decided to test, which also often falls in the handling category, is the sprint out time, or the amount of time it takes for you to fire your weapon after sprinting. It turns out, once again, the stock attachment has no impact on this either. Same thing goes with the reload speed. I thought maybe it would allow you to reload faster. That's not the case at all. It's the same reload speed with or without a stock. And that just left me with one last handling stat that I could think of, and this is your swap time, or your ability to swap to another weapon. And it turns out this is what they meant by handling. The stock attachment does affect your ability to swap your weapon faster. Now, swapping your weapon actually involves several different statistics. So there's the lower time, which is the amount of time it takes to lower your gun before starting to raise the other gun. So raise time is the other statistic of it. So when you're swapping weapon, you're actually dealing with the lower time of the weapon in your hand, as well as the raise time of the weapon that you're switching to. The stock attachment only has an impact on the raise and lower time of the weapon that it's equipped on. So if my R301 has a stock equipped on it, and I want to switch to a wingman, it will reduce the raise and lower time of the R301, but not the wingman. And I was actually able to calculate the exact amount depending on the tier of stock attachment that you have. Keep in mind, all of these statistics apply to both the sniper stock and the standard stock. These two attachments are identical aside from the fact that they are used on different weapons. So with a level 1 or a gray stock, your raise and lower times are decreased by 15% for the weapon it's equipped on. As for level 2 or the blue stock, this is 25% faster. And finally, for level 3 or the purple stock, this will reduce your raise and lower time by 35%. Now, honestly, when it comes to the gray and the blue stocks, this isn't a super noticeable difference by any means. Having said that, oftentimes in a really stressful gunfight, it really does just come down to those milliseconds, and therefore it can help you if you get into one of those situations where you just need to swap to that secondary weapon to finish off your enemy. When it comes to the purple stock though, this one is definitely noticeable when it comes to that swap time, and this can often get you out of a tricky situation. Another interesting thing to mention is this does stack, so if you happen to have two weapons and they both have stock equipped, you're reducing both of their lower and raise time, and therefore you can swap between them much faster. So if you ever get that opportunity, it's always a great idea to stack up two different weapons, both with a stock on there, so you can swap back and forth really quickly to finish off your enemies. Now, as for the second part of this stock attachment, this has to do with your aim drift, or what is most commonly referred to as idle sway. Let's have a look at the before and after with the R301 carbine. On the left, we've got no stock attachment, and on the right, we've got a purple or a level 3 stock. With this particular gun, you can definitely see that the sights are moving around a little bit less, but this is something that you won't be noticing in most of those close to mid-range gunfights. If you're really trying to line that shot up at extremely long ranges like across the map, yeah, you will notice this, but generally speaking, it's not doing a whole lot for you when it comes to idle sway. When you start getting more zoomed in sights on your gun though, it definitely starts to become more apparent. And this next set of clips, on the left we have the G7 Scout without the stock attachment, and on the right we have the G7 Scout with a blue or a level 2 stock attachment. So not even quite as powerful as in that last situation, but with this you can really clearly see that difference between having no stock and having stock equipped. Of course, every gun also has its own individual idle sway value as far as I can tell, so it will vary from gun to gun, but just know the stock attachment is going to be helping you out a little bit when it comes to idle sway. And with that, that wraps up today's really quick video on the stock attachment in Apex Legends. Personally, I was a little bit disappointed that this is all that the stock does. I thought it would help a little bit more, but in my opinion, the stock attachment really isn't all that powerful. Of course, it doesn't hurt to pick it up and attach it to your gun if you've got it available, but I absolutely would never be going out of my way and risking my life just for a stock attachment. Hopefully that helped put an end to some of the speculation out there that was simply wrong about the stock attachment. I am planning on covering several of the other attachments in this game, but just keep in mind they are very difficult to test because in its current state, the training mode doesn't allow you to just select attachments, and therefore getting the right attachments can take a very, very long time. But in either case, I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about these results? Were you surprised to see that the stock attachment only helps with your ability to swap weapons as well as your idle sway? Or did you expect it to do more? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.